Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is suing county prosecutors over a 1931 law still on the books which bans abortion. She's hoping the lawsuit will help safeguard abortion rights in her state as the Supreme Court weighs a case that could possibly, potentially overturn or even weaken Roe versus Wade. Meanwhile, several Republican-led states are taking actions to restrict abortion access. State lawmakers in Oklahoma just passed legislation to make performing the procedure a felony, subject to a potential 10-year prison term. Let us bring in the president and the CEO of Planned Parenthood, Alexis McGill Johnson. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
So from your point of view, why do you believe that the United States is seeing so many bills designed to challenge Roe versus Wade over the last few years?
I mean, look, over the last few years, just in the current state legislative cycle, so at the beginning of January, we have seen 521 restrictions introduced in 41 states. And the reason is clear. There is a court case that will come down in the next 90 days, Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health, where the Supreme Court has made clear that they are open to not only letting that ban stand, but also potentially overturning Roe v. Wade. And we have never been so close to losing a fundamental constitutional right, and the impact on people seeking access to health care, people seeking access to abortion care it's been devastating.
Can I ask you for clarification on this Oklahoma law making abortion a felony? Because as I understand it, there's already a law in the books in Oklahoma that makes abortion illegal. It's not enforced because the Supreme Court has already concluded that it's a woman's constitutional right to seek an abortion. This is not like the Texas law, which depends on civilians to enforce it. So I was sort of wondering why it is they pushed for this law to make it a felony. How is it different?
You're right. I mean, currently we have a federal protection, a constitutional protection to make decisions about our own bodies. And what Oklahoma is doing, this bill is criminalizing providers. It's leaving patients with few options. And it creates it as a felony punishable up to 10 years and with a $100,000 fine. And so this is only one of 7 bills that Oklahoma is considering. They are passing these laws literally, within 2 minutes, without any room for debate, without any, hearing from the folks who are outside protesting. And what we see, right, is that they are essentially waiting for the court ruling to come down so that they can make clear that Oklahoma will not be a state, if Roe is overturned, where access to abortion will be legal. And it's devastating because we've already seen a significant increase out of Texas because of the 6-week ban in Texas into states like Oklahoma. And so patients are having fewer and fewer options, not only in Oklahoma, but other states where people were depending on getting access to care there.
Yeah, and Alexis, and you mentioned the constitutional right that women have regarding abortion, which of course hinges on the 14th Amendment of the United States, which provides a right to privacy, which is, in fact, a woman's personal liberty to choose whether or not to have an abortion. But there are several cases that are pending that could hinge on a Supreme Court decision on Mississippi's 15-week abortion ban, which is expected to come this summer. What do you anticipate the outcome of that case might be?
Look, absolutely. I mean, as I said, I think if you heard the oral arguments, you saw that there was open consideration as to whether or not Roe v. Wade was correctly decided. And so the idea that, again, they could let the law stand, the 15-week ban stand, or they could overturn Roe outright. And if they overturn Roe outright, we have heard from lawmakers who have also made it clear they are not just coming for abortion under this privacy right. They're targeting access to contraception in Griswold, marriage equality in Obergefell, interracial marriage in the Loving decision, trans rights. So all of these rights, all of these freedoms, quite frankly, are connected to the 14th Amendment, to the right to privacy. And so we are obviously alarmed about what is happening to access to abortion, but we should be incredibly concerned about the impact to so many rights that we now currently enjoy.
And so what is Planned Parenthood doing? You were describing kind of this case that the Supreme Court is going to be looking at. And part of what we're also seeing are these things that they call trigger laws, which are laws that are put on the books. They can't be enforced because currently they're unconstitutional. But should that change? Should the Supreme Court decision change? And they automatically go into effect. So what is the plan for Planned Parenthood in terms of sort of dealing with these trigger laws and the laws that are already being implemented?
Yes, I mean, so look, if Roe is overturned and the decision to allow access to abortion rests in the states, we know that 26 states are hostile to access abortion, to abortion rights, and so we know that 26 states will fall. Some of them will happen because of these pre-1973 laws that were on the books, so they will revert back to the laws pre-access to pre-Roe, and other states are moving in ways as we see to enforce that. We also have states that are pushing the boundaries to expand access, right? States like New Jersey, states like Nebraska, just this week, California, Illinois, states who understand the impact and the devastation that will happen to people when they don't have access to abortion. So, our plan is to fight state by state. There is literally no state that where banning abortion is popular. People have made it very clear. 8 in 10 people believe that Roe should be the law of the land. And at the same time, they also recognize the fact that they want to be the ones making these decisions, not lawmakers. So we will be educating them about what is happening in their states, and we will be, engaging them to ensure that they are holding their lawmakers accountable.
Alexis McGill Johnson, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.